In the aftermath of the devastating wildfire that struck Napa, California, Laura Ringenberger, like countless other residents, witnessed the heartbreaking destruction of her home. Amidst the despair, an additional anguish gripped her heart. The potential loss of her beloved cat, possibly consumed by the relentless flames. Undeterred by this fear, Laura embarked on a determined search for her missing feline companion. Upon her return to the fire-ravaged site, a glimmer of hope arose as a familiar figure emerged from the remnants of the debris. In the midst of a series of life events, Laura, her husband PJ, and their 2 children were nearing the end of an eventful period before the devastating blaze engulfed their home. PJ had been fully engaged in his work, heavily involved in the preparations for the Safeway Open Golf Tournament at the nearby Silverado Resort and Spa. The demanding nature of his job had kept him occupied during that time. As the tournament was reaching its conclusion, the family anticipated a period of tranquility on the horizon. However, their hopes for respite were shattered when, around 10:30 p.m., they were abruptly forced to evacuate their residence on Soda Canyon Road. A rapidly approaching wildfire meant that they had to swiftly prioritize their safety, leaving behind most of their belongings. Fortunately, Laura, PJ, and their children managed to escape unharmed from the encroaching flames. Finding themselves displaced, they sought temporary shelter in a Home Depot parking lot, where they camped overnight. Initially, they optimistically assumed that they would be able to return home soon, hopeful that the fire would be extinguished. However, their expectations were tragically shattered. The Ringenberg family's house had been reduced to ashes, and to their dismay, they had been unable to locate their cherished cat, Kitty Star, before fleeing their home. She may very well have perished in the blaze. Furthermore, it was only on October 11th, 3 days after the Ringenberg had evacuated, that Laura could return to the area to search for her missing pet. It wouldn't be a police officer who would take Laura back to her home to hunt for the kitty, however. Instead, ABC 10 journalist John Bartell escorted her. Bartell himself had originally traveled on assignment to the wine-producing area of Napa Valley. He would subsequently report about the fires and the devastation they had caused in the region, and Laura was aware that Bartell had special access to roads in her neighborhood that had otherwise been closed off. Therefore, she flagged him down and asked if he could take her to her home. Laura also explained to him that someone had already told her that her house had been destroyed. Nevertheless, she wanted to see proof for herself and see if she could locate her cat in the process. Bartell's report then sees Laura climbing into the journalist's car and guiding him to where her house once stood. Right there, she tearfully instructs, before getting out of the vehicle and beginning her search for her pet. And as the camera pans around the area, you can see the devastation left in the fire's wake. All that can be seen on this part of Soda Canyon Road is mere ash, rubble, and the remnants of a few household items that have managed to survive the searing heat. Laura explains to the reporter, however, that the only item that her son really wants back is his gold St. Christopher chain. There's something, or rather someone, to search for in the meantime, though. "Here, Kitty," Laura shouts, her effort seemingly in vain. She also explains, "I didn't know where the fire went." Perhaps then, she is looking in the wrong place. Yet, before Laura can start her next sentence, a familiar sound, a little way off, grabs her attention. She pauses to listen to the noise before then calling out again. And this time, the source of the meowing materializes as Kitty Star walks gingerly into view. Laura then says, reassuringly, to her pet. Then, at the end of the report, both owner and cat are seen reunited. Kitty Star being petted by Laura as she tells the animal, "Hey Kitty, yes, it's okay." And Laura would later tell ABC 10, "We found her. I don't know what we're going to do about the house. It's a loss, but we got the kitty." Perhaps then the heartwarming reunion was some consolation for the trauma that the family had already been through. But even though Kitty Star had been retrieved safely, the Ringenbergers still had to deal with their wrecked home, and unfortunately, the insurance that they had didn't cover the entirety of their loss. For this reason, PJ's sister, Corey, set up a GoFundMe page to help get the family back on their feet. And on the page, Corey, who lives in Denver, Colorado, revealed that she felt helpless due to the distance between herself and the Ringenberger. The GoFundMe initiative was then, she hoped, a small gesture in what I can do to help my family in time of need. Corey went on to state, I hope they can use this money to help them with food, clothes, housing, etc. I know we all love and adore the Ringenberger family, and we will be so grateful for any help you can give. Fortunately, though, the Ringenberger did, however, have a temporary place of residence. They have a friend that has been so generous as to let them stay at their guest studio for the time being, Corey added, and in an update on the GoFundMe page, Laura herself would recount what had happened to her family. She wrote, every time I've tried to get the words out vocally or by text, only tears fall. We had just been talking about how bad the wind was going to be on Sunday, when we went to look at the pink moon, but ended up staring at a raging fire across the way. Maybe that is why there was a sense of urgency to go. I thought we would need a place to stay for the night. Grabbed some blankets, got the kids out of their beds, and took a few other things as the power went out. But, as it happened, of course, the family needed more than just overnight shelter, and the majority of their belongings were destroyed in the fire too, as Laura would further explain. Amidst the overwhelming sorrow of losing cherished possessions that held sentimental value, items connecting Laura to her parents, PJ to his father, furniture passed down through generations, and precious mementos of their children's early years, Laura found solace in expressing her grief. Despite the immense devastation experienced throughout the region, she also felt compelled to extend her gratitude to all those who had supported her family and others during this trying period. In her heartfelt message, Laura acknowledged the countless kind-hearted individuals who had tirelessly lent a helping hand, working ceaselessly to aid those in need. She marveled at the numerous doors that swung open, welcoming people into their homes and providing comfort. And amidst the overwhelming challenges, the Ringenberger family had an additional reason to rejoice: the joyful return of their beloved kitty star.